I'm Robyn Sandoval. I'm the president and CEO of A Girl and a Gun. A Girl and a Gun was founded in 2011 to get women off the sidelines of their lives. We saw so many women coming to matches, but sitting on the sidelines, cheering on their husbands or sons who were shooting. And we thought, how can we get these women to participate more? How can we get them to gain confidence and want to jump into competition? How can we get them to be mindful of their own self-defense? And how can we make it more fun?
Hey listeners, welcome back to another episode of Masquerade Podcast. We have a very exciting episode tonight. We have a returning guest, Robyn Sandoval of A Girl and a Gun. She is the CEO and president of this organization. It is the preeminent organization for training for female shooters all across the nation. So Robyn, thanks so much for being here and coming back.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I always appreciate talking to you guys.
Well, we're glad to have you here. So we kind of were hoping you were going to come back after the last episode we did. So we sort of crowdsourced a lot of questions, especially from our female students, you know, how we like to do our kind of females only class for those type of shooters. So we found we had a lot of questions, and I figured who else other than, you know, a female trainer to kind of, you know, gain your perspective as well as what you thought about these questions. So hopefully you're able to shed some light and, you know, we'll have some fun with it. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right. First one is going to be from at Clarence Explains It All. I want to learn about guns and firearms. However, I know my husband and brothers are probably not the best teachers. Where should I begin?
Oh gosh, well, if she is asking the question, then you are already way ahead of the game for recognizing that family's not always the best place to go to when you want to learn a skill like firearms training. Just like a lot of relationships, you know, parents teaching children, husbands teaching wives, it just doesn't work. You want to perform your best and already you're nervous. You don't want to disappoint people. There's just all these emotional components. And a lot of times it's hard for people who are not professional instructors to slow down and go back to what it's like to be a brand new beginner. So already you're ahead of the game for recognizing you want someone who can communicate well, find a real instructor that you're not married to, that's not in your family. And the best place to go is reputable organizations like A Girl and a Gun and find an instructor near you. Just reach out and see what classes they have available. If they don't have any classes on the books, maybe they'll schedule something for you, or maybe they'll just meet you for a private lesson. That's always a really great way for you to kind of jump in with some one-on-one coaching. It's very unintimidating. You learn the basics. And then when you go back to your family, your, you know, husbands, sons, fathers, you're such a better shooter than them. And then they want lessons from you.
I was going to say, how often is it that, you know, what happens on the range stays on the range? But if you're learning from a family member, you know, you're kind of going back home to them. So, you know.
Yeah, it never works. And honestly, it's kind of why an organization like A Girl and a Gun exists. We feel that need because it's just not a great place to go to find a family member to teach you. Like I said, there's a lot of emotion involved. And even with firearms in general, you know, having a little explosion just a few feet from your face is not a normal thing. And so having someone who's comfortable with teaching you through that experience, that's not already excited for you to go and ready for you to send rounds downrange and has all this energy about it, but someone who can really go at your tempo, coach you through that process, understand that everything you're feeling is normal, and really just be there as a support for you through that learning journey. Find an instructor who specializes in it.
Awesome. I couldn't agree more. Next question up. This is from Trigger Time Heat. Wow, this one's going to be right up your aisle. What is A Girl and a Gun? I was looking through your podcast list and I wanted the quick version. Is it all women?
Yep. That's the quick version. We are a club of women our club is designed to give training to other women. So we are women mentoring other women, professional instructors who offer classes, clinics, supervised practice to women who want to learn to shoot or want to take their shooting to the next level. So we have a roadmap for members for all stages, whether you're brand new to firearms or whether you're a seasoned competitive shooter. We have programs that can fit you and you can participate with us.
Awesome. And you guys have chapters everywhere, right? Like it's not a Girl and a Gun isn't just one central location that you go to, although I know you have, special events and, your annual convention conference.
Yeah, our
That you
conference.
do.
Yeah. So we have big events. I host an event pretty much once a month. I'll host some kind of specialized training where women will come. It's a destination event. They'll fly to wherever I am, hosting that with instructors who are specialized on that topic. But in general, the heartbeat of our organization is Girls Night Out at the Range. And that is happening somewhere in the country every single day of the week. We have over 400 of them every month. So all across the country, we have 350 partner host ranges. So there's likelihood there's a girls' night out happening near you where you can just show up and get some nuggets, some instruction, meet other women, learn resources that are available to you in your journey. So we have a lot of chapters across the country. If there's not a chapter near you, then you can join our national e-chapter, which allows you to participate virtually and just be part of the community virtually. And then they let you know not only tips and tricks that you can do as self-paced learning at the range when you're doing your own live fire practice, that we have our instructors that'll coach you through that virtually, but it'll also let you know other events that we have going on and things you might want to travel to.
Makes me kind of jealous. I wish there was a parent or sibling organization called A Boy and a Gun. That's
Yeah.
not yet, but
We get that a lot. We've talked a lot about having a guy and a gun, but every day is guy's day at the range. So out when you suddenly show up at a range and there are 30 or so women, you're like, wow, okay, I'm not the only one. There are other women that enjoy shooting and that are actually really good at shooting. And so, yeah, a lot of times women in the industry will get a bad rap. And so I love that our ladies all perform at a really high level. And so we're able to coach everybody from very beginner on up.
next question. This one is from Twitter, Busby, California Life. Okay. How difficult are shotguns to handle? I think this is coming from a female. I'm about 5'4" and 125 pounds. The movies make it seem like they have monstrous recoil. I just want to be good at different firearm platforms.
That's an awesome question. A lot of people are intimidated by the shotgun, but it really is more about technique. Just like everything we do, a lot of times women will say, even with a pistol, they say, I don't have the strength to rack this slide. And I say, sister, give me 5 minutes and I'll show you it's how to do it. It's just the technique is different. And the same is with the shotgun. There's lots of different shotguns you'll be able to shoot, even if you're a little bitty. Push-pull technique always works. It's just going again, finding an instructor who can talk your language and who can show you what to do to fit your body and use the skills and to use the strength in the way that we have them. Women are built different than men. Our anatomy is different. Our strength areas are different. Our center of gravity is different. So knowing how to work with your body and knowing how to move your body is mostly technique. And so especially that's why it's valuable to work with a female instructor, because she can kind of tell you what works for her and kind of coach you through that, understanding how it works for you. But yeah, a shotgun can be intimidating, but believe me, I'll get you out at our 3-gun university and you'll be running a shotgun through a 3-gun stage, or you can come to our sporting clays event. We have that every July and you can be, breaking clays all over the shotgun range. There's so much fun to shoot with shotgun. Once you get good at it, whether it's 3-gun, the tricky part is loading. So once you practice your dual loads or quad loads, once you learn those techniques, then you can go through those arrays so super fast. And that's what makes shotgun really fun.
All right. Next question we have at Lady Rosie Riveter. Is there a good age that I should start teaching my kids about guns? Hashtag single mom life.
Yes. First of all, I love your hashtag, Rosie Riveter, your @ sign. So Rosie, from day one, as moms, we talk about safety in general. We talk about putting on your seatbelt. We talk about your safety spot if there's a tornado. We talk about your safety spot outside if there's a fire. Like, it should just be part of the safety conversation that on an age appropriate level as you're raising your kids. So when they're little, talk about, stop, don't touch, run away, tell an adult, those kinds of safety rules. And then as they transition around 8, 9, 10, start maybe touching the firearm with your supervision, then you start really integrating the 4 rules of gun safety into everything they do. But just talk about them in terms of, this is just our safety plan. This is how we have these to keep us safe, just like we have fire extinguishers to keep us safe in our kitchen. So that should really be a part of the conversation since kids are itty bitty. Of course, make it age appropriate, but don't hide it from kids. It's just part of your family lifestyle. It's part of your family safety plan. So be respectful of the firearm and make sure your kids know the rules about it. They're not going to go play with the fire extinguisher. It's just, they know it's there and they know it's for mom or dad to use if there's a situation. And it should be the same way with a firearm, keeping them secured at all times. It's an important safety rule also, is to make sure that your guns are always secured away from your children. But if you're supervised and you're there, making sure that they know the rules, and also recognizing that you're not always with them. If they're on a playground, if they're at someone else's home where they have firearms, they still need to know those rules. Stop, don't touch, run away, get an adult. Make sure that they know those safety rules. And there's lots of different programs. There's Kid Safe program, there's the Eddie Eagle program. There's a lot of programs that teach these to kids in a really age appropriate way with cartoons and coloring book pages and mascots and songs. So there's really no reason to wait until someone reaches a certain age before you start talking about gun safety. Just, it's you find out what works for you and your family. That's an important thing that I've always found, is that my family safety plan is what I, as an educated, responsible gun owner, have decided is best for my family. And there's a lot of resources and instructors to kind of guide you on that journey, but ultimately it's up to you to make those appropriate decisions for you and your kids.
All right. This one comes from, it's fine, Denise. Okay, seriously, I cannot find a good holster location while wearing an evening dress. What are some alternative carry methods so I do not have to give up on date nights?
No, you never. You always, that's the great thing is 15 years ago, it would have been a completely different answer. There were just no options, none. Maybe purse carry might have been an option 15 years ago, and that's it. We're so lucky that nowadays women have evolved into real entrepreneurs to give us really good quality gear, and we have more options than ever before. Dean Adams has a really great line of concealment garments that you can wear, whether it's like corset style or bike shorts that have built-in pockets that have Kydex holster covers in there. The trigger guard's completely covered. They're very safe, and you can wear them under your gowns. You can also use the Enigma. That is what I carry most times when I'm wearing a dress. The Enigma is appendix carry, but instead of affixing to your clothes, it affixes to your body. It's just a belt that goes on under your clothes. And so I wear that with dresses all the time. So it's just, getting to it. You have to practice that on how you're going to get to it. There's also options like ankle carry, being able to take a knee if you have the flexibility. Like anything, whenever you're going to carry in a certain way, make sure you practice those moves and can safely draw without muzzling yourself or your children or who's with you, your date partner. Make sure that you can retrieve the firearm and not muzzle anybody that you care about, and only point it at the threat. So practicing that is really important, because a lot of people think, oh, I'll just, ankle carry, or I'll just, appendix carry when I'm wearing this evening gown. Well, it might not be that easy to get to, and it might not be as safe to get out of as you think it would be. So put it on and practice with it. Make sure that you have the physical capacity in heels to take a knee and draw from a holster, an ankle holster. Just make sure that you are able to do it. Because sometimes when you think about it, like in your best case thought out safety plan, it doesn't always come together as the real world. So there's lots of places on the body that you can easily conceal. The Enigma holster from Philster is a really excellent resource that allows a lot of people to conceal, as is the Dean Adams line. I would check out both of those first. They're very great quality, very versatile, with lots of different wardrobe options. And of course, there is the option of off-body carry, which now has a lot more options than ever before as well, for purses that allow direct access, and that also have quality holsters that are in there that allow good retention and accessibility. All of those things are things to talk about with an instructor. Just because you have a separate pocket in your purse does not make it a safe place to carry. Always have a designated pocket where your lipstick or your keys or anything can't be with your firearm. It's a dedicated pocket for your firearm, and it has a holster Velcroed inside so that your draw stroke is always consistent. So, and again, practice with it. But there's a lot of ways. Never, especially on a blind date, never go without your safety tools, ever. There's a place on your body where you can easily conceal no matter what you're wearing.
Next question we have comes from at 51 Canadian Whiskey. Are revolvers relevant anymore. I don't think I see anyone carrying revolvers anymore to gun classes. Should I even bother learning how to use one?
That's a great question. We're actually seeing a resurgence in revolvers. There's a lot of people who, with different dexterity of their hands, are preferring revolvers, and there's a lot of different calibers now. This is not your grandpa's revolver anymore. Lately, there's been a lot of really great revolvers come out that are different calibers and that are easily concealable. It's just another conversation to have with your goals and your lifestyle, just like picking the right gun for what your purpose and your goals and your body and your abilities. Maybe your revolver is right for you. For some people, a double action trigger pull is just too heavy. But for others, there's other calibers and other styles and models of revolvers that are much easier. So again, you want to consider round capacity. You want to consider legality of where you live, different jurisdictions. But yeah, I wouldn't count it out. If the answer is semi-auto or revolver or nothing, I mean, yes. If it's semi-auto and revolver, yes. That's always a better option.
If a student wanted to try out a revolver or anything like that, and they let you know or they let an instructor know ahead of time, before a class or before, one of the evening shoots, is that something that you can facilitate, or is that a possibility, depending on, location, like like a try before you buy, kind of thing?
Absolutely. So that's one of the benefits of a Girl and a Gun girls' night out, is because we have a lot of firearms there that look different ladies bring, and most of the time you can try different things. And most of our ranges have loaner programs, and a lot of times they'll reduce the fee or waive the fee on girls' night outs so that you can try it. We call it speed dating, where you just try a gun for a few rounds and then try a different gun for a few rounds and just kind of see how they fit in your hands. There's different scorecards too, so you can see, oh wow, I really had a tighter grouping with this gun. And I think it was because of the ergonomics of it, or it fit my hand better or whatever. So yeah, trying them is definitely beneficial. It's like shoes. You can look at the shoes in the counter, or in the case, but you got to put them on and walk in them to see if it's something you really enjoy. So the same would be true with a revolver. Just looking at it doesn't necessarily rule it in or out. It might fit your hand great. It might be a great option depending on which jurisdiction you're driving through, or which sport you're competing in, or what outfit you have on that night. It might be a great option. Definitely try it. And like I said, we are seeing a resurgence in revolvers. It's never my first go-to for a firearm. When women are coming to the range, I typically encourage a 9mm just because of round capacity and ease of that, and also it's easier transition into most of the sports that we shoot and compete in and drills we do. But I mean, I'm not going to rule out a revolver if it fits right for your hands and your goals.
Next question is from 1 dozen garlic roses. I don't know if that's a flower or a food, but we'll go with it.
I like garlic and I like roses, so we're good.
What would you recommend to keep in the bedroom to defend yourself? I'm a woman who lives by myself and scared of hearing glass breaking in the middle of the night.
Well, it's good to have a safety plan. So you have to think about, what are you going to be able to wake up and use? What are you kind of accessible? Do you have children in the house? Do you have friends that visit? Do you have family that visits? Do you have a housekeeper that comes in and cleans? Like, what do you need to have secured, and how can you have accessibility to it? Usually a handgun's a little bit easy to secure with a biometric safe that's smaller, but nowadays they have the wall mount for long guns that are an option as well. So I would just kind of think about your safety plan as, what is it? If you're tired in the night, if you're thinking you're hearing something, but you're kind of in that, have to get yourself from totally fast asleep to ready to respond in seconds, where are you going to be located? How fast can you get to something? What are you going to be able to easily retrieve and operate, and kind of think that through. There's not really a right or wrong answer. There's different techniques on knowing where are other people located, what walls are penetrable, if your children are behind certain walls. You have to think all of those things through for your safety plan. Is there a place where you can retreat easily between a locked door to give yourself more distance and time? So all of those things, it's not as easy as just saying, this gun and this place go, because there's a lot of factors revolving to your family, your needs, how you sleep, where you sleep. and all of that. So I would, again, talk to an instructor about it, reach out to different resources, read different articles that we've put up online, some videos on how to create time and distance. Maybe it's putting a few more doorways in between you and where glass can break, or knowing some exits that you can get to. Again, time and distance is your friend, and firearm is a great option. Just knowing which one and how it relates to you and your life and your family.
For the sake of our listeners, without going into too much detail and diving down the rabbit hole, would you be able to give us an example of your, kind of firearm setup slash, what you considered when you were putting your plan together?
Well, I'm better with my handgun. I am very confident with my handgun. I practice a lot with my handgun. So it's a go-to where I feel very comfortable and confident with it. I know I can manage malfunctions and reloads and everything very intuitively just because I've put a lot of hands on it. I also do like a long gun because I like, if I'm hearing glass break, and I have time. The layout of my house allows that. My room is upstairs, so there's not, I have some time and distance. I like, I live in the great state of Texas, and we have standard capacity magazines, and I like all the pews as an option. I want all of them, so I want at least 30, and with more standing by. So long guns are beneficial. So, and I kind of take the approach of law enforcement as well. Use your handgun because it's what you have immediately available, and move to your long gun if that's, if you have time and distance to do that. So that's how my safety plan is set up. But again, I train with it a lot, and I think about this stuff a lot. I think about it probably too much. So I also know where my children's rooms are in relation to my room, and the trajectory of which a bad guy would be approaching. So I have that, knowing the layout of my home. I know, my children's rooms are down the hallway from my room, so I would have to take a knee so that the round did not go up, or did not go straight or down. I would have to angle up. So again, knowing just that there is a rabbit hole about it, for sure. And I hope to never have to put it into place, but I do have everything staged in a way that allows me to have some options.
All right, next question. First Order PR department, clearly a Star Wars fan. I just finished watching John Wick 3. Oh dear. Conceal carry holster on my dog's harness. Thoughts? Good, bad, otherwise.
Well, if your dog is like mine, my dog, if somebody did break in, my dog would be so happy to see them. Like, so happy. Like, my dog has to get to third base with everyone who comes in the house. So she would be of no help giving me the holster. She would give it to the bad guy. So I'm not sure that's a reliable plan. It's kind of fun to think about. Maybe if your dog's more reliable than mine, but mine will be a traitor instantly.
Tabasco fire tingles. Okay. Do you think it's a good first date to take my new boyfriend to a firearms training class? Hashtag girl boss.
Do it, sister. You'll know exactly if he's supportive, if he's intimidated, if he's going to cheer you on, if he's going to try and outshoot you. You will learn a lot from somebody at the range. So definitely go for it.
Are there any red flags that, somebody should look for if they, a guy who's too competitive, a guy who's trying to overteach, a guy who seems to take instruction well, but couldn't hit the, barn door from inside the barn, type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, all of those things. And it really depends on your personal style. But if you enjoy shooting and you like to shoot and you want to go shoot matches and you want your guy to go shoot with you, then you'll find out right away if he's interested in shooting. If he's not, then that's something to consider if you don't mind. But if it's something that you would like to do together and he is not being a part of it, that lets him know how he, may or may not be supportive of your weekends away. So, I mean, it just lets you know what he's into. If he wants to learn, if he's open to learning, if he's open to learning from you or someone else, I think that it shows a lot about somebody, the way that they learn. And if he's competitive, you might find that cute, you might find that annoying. So, I mean, it just depends on your style. But I think you can learn a lot from somebody and seeing how they are in a class. If they go to a class and tell the instructor everything they know, run far away. You do not go to a class so that you can impress the instructor. You go to a class to learn from that instructor. So if you go to somebody who is a bad student, it just shows that they are inconsiderate of someone else's knowledge and time. And so I think that's a huge red flag just from a personality standpoint.
Next, at Blue-Blooded Alex, what is so great about the 1911? I made the mistake of asking during dinner, and we are so far down the rabbit hole now. Why would anybody want to use a 100-year-old gun?
That's funny. Well, the 1911 is a classic. I mean, I was recently at the John Browning Museum in Ogden, Utah, and I learned a lot about it that I didn't even know. But it's the good Valentine's gun. It's patented on Valentine's Day, 1911. So it's important to know just from a historical standpoint. A lot of people like them, but it's 45, so it's not as popular today. That's why everybody's gotten their bougie 2011s. So I'm not one of those girls that goes down the rabbit hole about calibers and grain weights and metrics and all. That is not my thing. If you like it, if it's pretty, if you shoot well with it, rock on. That's kind of where I stand. A lot of people like to really geek out on the history of it, which I think is fascinating. A lot of people like to just claim that it's the first and best, which is, that's their jam. But yeah, I'm with you. If someone's talking too much about it at dinner, I'll be yawning and moving on.
Next question. Margot Embargoes. If there was just one gun that does it all, what would be the best all-rounder to train on and learn on? Hashtag budget life.
That is a great question. I would say, this might be controversial, but hey, this is my opinion. I'm going to say the Glock 19 is your go-to for everything you could need it for, assuming that you're, not in a place that prohibits it. But the Glock 19 is a great gun for competition, for carry, for general marksmanship, for pretty much any sport you want to shoot. It's a good size, it's reliable. That's my own personal opinion.
I like it. Great entry-level gun, and everybody knows on the channel that I'm not a huge Glock proponent, but as an instructor, it's kind of that Goldilocks, kind of, gun that is great for new shooters and, people to train on. Plus,
it is. It's very simple, and it's great for so many reasons. It's great to learn how to field strip it and take care of your gun, how to clean it. It's not overly complicated like a 2011 where you're watching YouTube videos for 4 days to get it back together. So it's just a good, simple gun to learn to shoot on, to learn your mechanics, to learn your fundamentals, to learn how to clean it and maintain it. It is pretty budget friendly. In fact, here's a pro tip, those of you who are watching. If you join GSSF, you actually get Blue Label pricing, which knocks 40% off the price. So you can get a Glock at Blue Label each year if you're a GSSF member. And to be a GSSF member, it's like $25 a year. So it's a great program. You learn a lot. You're part of their mailing list, and so you get some cool tips on shooting and where matches are near you. But that makes it even more budget friendly.
And I just saw from recently on your post that you had the opportunity to check out the new generation of Glocks. Is that right?
Yeah, I was invited out for the launch of the Gen 6. I was very honored to be part of that. There were only about 70 people from all over the world that were flown in for that. And I was honored and grateful to be among them. So, I was one of the first ones to put my hands on the Gen 6 and send some rounds downrange. I shot the new 17, 19, and 45. Reliable, I think as an instructor, it's a game changer with just some ergonomic changes that they made that will allow better instructors to teach a little bit, help communicate some fundamentals. I think if you love Glocks, you're going to love it. If you're not a Glock person, it's a great Glock. But I think that it's going to be very well received. I liked it a lot. I thought that the trigger placement mirrored the PDP F series quite a bit. Some of the ergonomic changes, the grip, it has a higher beaver tail. It'll allow people to get a higher grip on the gun. There was just it has a flat face trigger, which we all love. It's optic ready, which is a total game changer finally for Glock. So little things like that. It's still the Glock safe action system. It has all the inner workings that are the same or similar. There's a couple different parts, but they're essentially the same as what we know on the inside of a Glock. So yeah, I think that it's going to be a really nice addition to the market.
Next question is from Max Level Effort 68. Couldn't afford the +1, I guess. I am happy with my target shooting. I am just starting to get into competition. How do I mentally prepare myself for a fight? Is there a way to simulate or train shooting while under stress? Wow, a lot to unpack there.
So in terms of competition, you're never going to be ready. So just go sign up, go on practice score, find a match near you, and just go. That's it. Just go. Most matches, if not all, have a new shooter brief. So before the safety brief, they'll call all new shooters to a new shooter meeting, and they'll talk to you about the scoring policies and the rules and the safety and all of those things. If it's your first match, they'll kind of walk you through it, and they'll put you on a squad with someone who can kind of coach you and, answer your questions and be supportive of you throughout the match. Most competitions are set up that way. Most local clubs are really supportive and love having new shooters come out, new competitors come out. So with that being said, just jump into competition. Now, competition is stressful in its own way because you are on the clock, you are inducing stress, you are up there in front of all your friends, everybody's watching you when it's your turn. So it does mimic a certain amount of stress. It's going to be just like in a self-defense situation in that everyone's going to be looking at you. You're having to move as fast as possible without losing efficiency. I mean, there's things like that are still true, although in a self-defense situation, obviously, there's a lot more at stake. So we can't really mimic that. There are trainings that do induce a lot more stress, like you could go to a force-on-force class. Believe me, when there's rounds coming back at you, even though they're plastic, they hurt and you bleed and it's not fun and it makes you not want to get shot. So that definitely is an upward higher level of stress. There are classes where you can get that experience, but competition is a great way for you to be able to move fast, efficiently with a little bit of stress inoculation, the pressure to perform. That shot timer is the worst thing in the world. Like you're shooting a target that you could shoot 9 times out of 10 without even thinking about it. But that time that the shot timer is right by you and you hear that beep, that's the round that you shank. It's just nature. It's just part of it. So having those reps and getting that practice with that little bit of stress inoculation does help you work through it and does help you have to kind of slow your mind to say, be efficient, move easily, be more accurate, kind of give yourself that pep talk. But yeah, so there's not really a time where you're going to be ready. Just go on practice score, find a match near you, go do it. Yeah, I always tell our new competitors, I'm like, okay, here's how the range commands work. Shooter, do you understand the course of fire? Stand by, beep. You forget what you're doing. You remember what you're doing. You do the things you're supposed to do, and then you breathe. Like that's kind of like that's normal. If you don't like completely go, oh God, what am I doing? Oh yeah, okay. If you don't have that moment, then you're not really, that's what that stress induction is.
All right, getting towards the end, our second to last question. This comes from Bronx Bomber 44. Why is it that guns always pick the smallest, cutest gun whenever I approach them? Should I ask different questions when I am asked what I'm looking for and what might be a good fit for me?
I know, that is the most annoying thing. If I go into a gun store, if I'm with a guy, my husband is with me, or my son, or anybody else, my dad, any other man is with me, a friend, they will talk to him thinking I'm just there for the shopping visit. They don't talk to me. And if they do talk to me, you're right, you're directed to the smallest, pinkest, or Tiffany blue little revolver or whatever. It's just a fact. And it goes down to 2 things. One, these guys are not instructors, they are salesmen, and often they can sell those little pink or little blue guns to women because they can make a good case for it. You're smaller, it's pretty, you're pretty, done, go. But I love that she already recognizes that, hold on, that doesn't seem right to me, and there's got to be more to this. So we all know that having a larger gun has more weight, it has more mass, it has easier to manage that recoil. So she's right. Going to something bigger is better. And like I said before, with all of the different carry garments and holster options we have, you can carry a full size. You can easily conceal something much larger than we used to. So there's no reason to go small. And there's all the reasons to go to a larger firearm. So you're right. Instead of you asking all the questions, I would just find a different store. I've consulted different gun stores before, and the first thing that I tell these guys at the gun counter is, what questions are you asking? You are supposed to be asking the questions. It's not up to the consumer to ask the questions. Hopefully you've done your due diligence, you know which guns will fit your goals and your needs, and you can just go buy them. But if that guy is not giving you, if you feel like the advice he's not giving or the products he's not recommending are right for you, go to a different rep or go to a different store. You're essentially voting for that behavior with your dollars.
What are some examples of questions that maybe our listeners should be asking, a sales rep, or, what are some of the things that, like, what purpose, should they be looking for?
Well, the first thing that this sales guy should ask you is, what do you want it for? Like, what do you plan to do with it? Is it home defense? Is it competition? Is it just general marksmanship? Is it your first gun? You just want to learn to shoot at a static range? Like, is it you want that multi-purpose gun? Like, that's the first question is, what are you going to do with it? And then from there, move on to different personal needs. If you need something that you want to maybe compete with, does it have any match grade options, upgrade available? Or, what is the caliber like? If you're going to get some kind of strange off, I would stick to a standard 9mm unless you want a 10mm or something different. But if you want your ammo to be consistent, that's a factor. If, just there's different things but you should already have your laundry list, really, of your buying list, of your preferences, of what you're going to use it for, maybe things that you've tried already. Please don't go to a counter if you haven't tried them. Like, it's like shoes. Like I said, you can't just look at the counter and pick one. You really need to walk around in it. So go to the range and talk to the range guys. They will give you much better advice first. And usually you can rent those guns, especially if you have an instructor with you, or if you come to a girls' night out event with a girl and a gun, you can rent those guns. Usually you just have to buy their ammo to do the rental, and they might have a rental fee. But then it's so much less expensive. Instead of spending $700 on a gun that ends up in your safe and you don't touch it ever, you end up spending $20 for a box of ammo, sending some rounds down range, and learning that gun is either right for me or not right for me. So that's the best investment you can make with your time, is just to go to the range and try different guns. You can look on the A Girl and a Gun website. We list all of the guns that are popular among our members. So everybody who comes to our national conference, we log all of their firearms. So we can tell you what are the popular brands, what are the popular holsters, what are the popular features that our girls are loving. And these aren't guns that were sponsored. These are ones that they literally love and train with and brought with them to conference. So over 1,000 guns are logged, and the preferences and whether they're red dot or green dot, whether they're, compact or subcompact or full size, all of that information is on our website at girlandagun.org. So it's a good place to start for some preferred brands, and then kind of take those top 5, go to the range and see which ones you like.
Last question. Forever 21, Missy Fabulous. Other than A Girl and a Gun, which people have been the most influential upon your life? Are there role models in the industry to follow and keep up with?
Yes, there are a lot of really incredible mentors and role models. And they change over time. I'd have to think about there's people I go to train with that I've learned from, classes I've taken that have definitely been instrumental in my journey. Sometimes you take those classes, and when you leave that class, you are a different person. Like, I understand the world differently. I look at the world differently. I'm shooting differently. So those kinds of aha moments are really awesome. So there's a lot of instructors that I've had the privilege of working with in that regard. But I'd have to say mostly people who have influenced me through A Girl and a Gun have been people in the industry that have opened doors for women, that not necessarily on the range, but introductions that have been made to sponsors that have been game changers for A Girl and a Gun to get us the opportunities to do things bigger and better, to grow partnerships with ranges, range managers that have told other range managers about the success of chapters at their facilities. Those those simple conversations and those doors being opened are really the most impactful things that have really shaped. Yeah, I'm hesitant to just give names because I know I'm going to forget some people and then I'll feel really bad about it. But I would definitely follow Tatiana Whitlock. She's our National Director of Training and she's brilliant. I've learned a ton from her. And then, of course, all the people who teach at our national conference, they're listed on our website. Those are names that people I've trained with. I've trained with almost all of them, and I go and usually have some kind of time with them and hear their principles and their personality and make sure that they're right for our community. So I do a lot of vetting before I invite an instructor into the A Girl and a Gun community. I want to make sure that they can be a part of our culture. The A Girl and a Gun culture has really high standards. We have very rigorous curriculum. We have very challenging stages. We don't powder puff anything. I don't want anything to feel that it was brought down or standards were lowered for any reason. So we have very high standards and we don't powder puff anything. But what makes A Girl and a Gun unique is we have a culture that will cheer you on along the way. We will support you. We will make sure you have all the resources you need. We will communicate in a way that you understand so that you can be successful at it. So I think that's what makes it different, is that it's not, nothing is dulled down. We have very high standards and our ladies compete to a very high level, but we're there to cheer you on and get you there. And so all of our instructors are really awesome. So if you go to agirlandagun.org, you can look at our chapter instructors. You can look at our national instructors that come to our conference. On the conference page, there's a list with links out to their websites, and I recommend all of them.
All right, so that was the last question. Robyn, again, thank you so much for coming back and joining us on Match Grade Podcast. It was an absolute pleasure to have you. Tell us a little bit more about the organization. If people want to get involved with A Girl and a Gun, where can they get more information? What events can they sign up for? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so they can go to agirlandagun.org and they can click Find a Chapter to find a chapter near them. If there's not a chapter near them, they can join our national e-chapter. To be a member means you can come to all of our events. So we have our sniper school, we have our drift academy, we have our clay shoot, our 3-gun match, we have our Glock getaway. We have all kinds of amazing experiences that people can learn, whether it's pistols, rifles, shotguns, or come to our national conference and train with Dave and all of my friends. So yeah, come to agirlandagun.org. You can click on the events tab. You can click into the learn tab and see all kinds of articles. There's so much to garnish on our website, and I invite you all just to go check it out.
Awesome. Thanks, Robyn. Guys, for our listeners, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. All the links for A Girl and a Gun will be listed down below in the description, so be sure to check that out and see over here for some more great content. Thanks, Robyn.
Thank you.